Modders are 100 years ahead of the developers of this game. Rice and flooded fields were already in mods back in the previous edition. Today you'll see what could make it into the next one. Renting out your own barn, cutting bales open with your bare hands, and test driving a tractor before you buy it. And that's just the beginning, so let's get started. Your countryside finally stops being a wasteland. Beyond driving a tractor from one end of the field to the other, this game can feel pretty empty. Your countryside looks like it's completely cut off from the world, and yet a real village is never truly separated from the rest of civilization. This mod adds emergency vehicles to the game: police, fire trucks, and ambulances, because you do come across those in the countryside too, just less often than in the city. On top of that, you set the sirens and lights yourself, so your interventions look truly believable. This should be in the base game. On small farms, hardly anyone has a modern bale shredder, so in real life, a farmer simply cuts the bale open and spreads the straw around the barn by hand. In this game, you normally can't even do that, because without the right machine, you can't touch a bale at all. This mod adds a simple option to open a bale. You walk up to it, look at it, and a cut option appears in the menu, and once you press it, the bale spills its contents straight onto the ground. No expensive machine, just you and the bale, exactly how a real farmer would do it. Little board boosts your yield, and it's realistic. Because these yellow boards really do show up on real fields. In real life, they work a bit differently, since they're mainly used to detect pests. This mod brings that into the game, just simplified. You place the board in your field for next to nothing, and it works a bit like a beehive, except instead of honey, it simply raises the yield on nearby fields. A small, cheap addition that actually increases your harvest. This one machine waters an entire field by itself. In the real world, there's no harvest without water, so where it's scarce, a farmer has to irrigate the fields himself. But in this game, irrigation means absolutely nothing. The field grows the same whether you water it or not. This mod adds a huge pivot irrigation system that rotates across the field on its own, watering it in a perfect circle up to over 200 meters wide. And even though the water itself doesn't do much here, you can add fertilizer or herbicide to it and cover the whole field in serious style. You can now become a mailman in this game. In this game, you basically do the same thing over and over: sow, harvest, and sell your crops. But a real village runs on many different things at once. This mod gives you a complete postal service, a building where workers sort the letters, 10 types of mailboxes to place around the area, and a delivery van with automatic loading. You drive the mail out to the boxes and get paid for it. Your empty barn can make you money. After a few hours of playing, you usually have plenty of space on your farm you don't use for anything. Empty halls, open lots, buildings that just sit there taking up room, when you could be getting something out of them. That's where this mod comes in, because it lets you rent that space to people nearby. The local dealer, a landscaping company, or a mechanic will happily pay for room in your hall or lot, and you get paid for it every day. And the best part, it's pure passive income. The money comes in on its own, even while you're out plowing a field somewhere else. This is missing from the base game. A biogas plant is one of the more interesting ideas in this game, but it has one small yet very painful problem. It costs a fortune. Because of that, you only get to play with biogas after dozens of hours, and until then your silage is basically good for nothing but cows. This mod adds a small biogas plant you can afford early in the game. You feed it silage, manure, slurry, even potatoes or straw, and it turns all that into electricity, methane, and digestate. This is what the farming of the future looks like. A tomato or lettuce in a greenhouse won't surprise anyone. That's just how it normally looks. But wheat or corn under glass sounds strange, right? And yet this is exactly what the farming of the future might look like. This mod brings greenhouses like these into the game right now. So under glass, you can grow grains, vegetables, and root crops too. Not just the classic tomatoes. You just run water to them, and if you add manure on top, you double the output of every greenhouse. This mod does the impossible. Only the oldest players of this series remember when you could shove a cart off the road straight into the river. Today, the traffic cars are practically glued to the asphalt and nothing moves them. You can ram them with anything and they'll just calmly drive on. This mod might not change the path they drive, but it gives you a portable traffic light that forces them to stop. You place it anywhere, control it with your mouse, and all the traffic obediently halts so you can finally play road worker. Take your potatoes to the next level. Storing potatoes in this game is pure torture. Either you dump them loose and they take up half your yard, then you scoop them up load after load, or you pack them into pallets and spend the next half hour messing with pallet forks instead of a loader. This mod adds a Polish potato salad cellar where you can store 250,000 liters of your harvest without cluttering your whole yard. The concept itself is brilliant and genuinely realistic, though in real life loading and unloading a cellar like this would be far more of a pain. Now you can grow your own raspberries. It's actually pretty strange when you think about it. The game has let you grow strawberries and turn them into products for a while now, but raspberries, arguably just as popular, are nowhere to be found. This mod fills that gap because it adds a whole garden where you grow your own raspberries, just seeds and water. On top of that, you get a factory that turns them into raspberry juice and jam. And the best part, it gives you a completely new production chain and another source of income on your farm. You can now test drive a machine before buying. In the real world, no farmer buys a machine blind. He tests it in the field first, checks how it drives, how it works, whether it even fits his equipment. In the game, you just click buy and only then find out if you got it right or wasted a fortune. This mod changes that because it lets you take a machine for a free test drive before you buy it. You check on your own farm how it handles and whether it fits your implements. No more overpaying for fertilizer. I don't know any farmer who just produces their own artificial fertilizer in the backyard. Usually there are two options, either an organic farm with zero chemicals or the classic complaining that fertilizer costs a fortune again. This mod adds a third option, producing your own fertilizer. You add manure, water and lime, and in the end you get ready to use fertilizer for your field. Is it realistic? Well, not really. I've been waiting 3 months for this tractor. A real farmer almost never buys new. He scrolls the listings, makes calls, drives out to look, haggles. In this game, you roll into the dealership and everything is brand new. One price, available now. No hunting for a deal. A broker moves into the dealership. You tell him what you want, pay for the assignment, and wait. A week, 3 months, or a whole year. The longer and pricier the search, the better your odds. From 65% up to 99%. The machine shows up scratched with hours on the clock and cheap, or it doesn't show up at all. Lazy players are going to love this mod. Factories in Farming Simulator are a great change of pace when driving in circles around the same field starts to bore you. But the more of them you build, the more of a hassle distribution becomes, because suddenly you're hauling hundreds of pallets across the map, whether from animals or from production. This mod gives you special silos and points that distribute your products automatically. In the production menu, you set what goes where, and the mode handles all the logistics for you. Someone made a mod that only takes your money. In this game, everything pays you. You sell, you earn, you grow. Nobody ever thought I'd love to pay just to throw stuff away. This mod adds a skip you toss your stuff into and you get nothing for it. Plus, you pay rent. And the best part, it's fully intentional for the hardcore role players who want realism even when it hurts their wallet. This mod adds what players have wanted for ages. When Rice was announced, I saw real disappointment across a big part of the community and voices saying they test it but probably never use it. There are so many interesting crops and mechanics people would love to see in the game, and instead they add rice. This mod delivers it because it adds a whole orchard side to the game. You plant your own apple trees, harvest the apples and press them into juice in a small facility, then sell them at a stall that pays an especially good price for fruit.